Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome to the stream. Excuse me. My son HW here, ready to cast replays from tournament number 1 and 2 of the HWL Season 9 tournaments. Anyways, hope you guys are ready for some good battles. I think we have like 11 to get through today, so we do have a lot of them. And yeah, good to see you all. And I do want to start out the stream with a huge shout out there to Quest Knight for the follow. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Do appreciate it. Now, let's get started. It should be Ice Power bringing the Greenskins versus Hanadin's Warriors of Chaos, but it is in French, so I may have gotten it wrong. So let's go ahead and check it out and see. All right, I got it right, but it's backwards. So we're going to go ahead and update that for the next battle, but for right now, just keep in mind that we are backwards. But let's throw up that intro card, and looks like it's not going to be cooperating with us today. But aha, third time's a charm. Ice Power with the Greenskins and Hanadin's with the Warriors of Chaos, but they will be flip-flopped. So Ice Power is actually going to be our red player here. Now let's go ahead and pause the battle, cover the armies very quickly, and then we will get right into the action. And actually, just so I don't forget, let me go ahead and swap those nameplates out now. All right, I think we are good. And here we go. So it looks like the battle's going to start pretty quick, so we'll keep it in pause here as we cover our blue/yellow player, the Warriors of Chaos, being led by Hanadin's. So we're going to have a front line consisting of 4 Chaos Marauders. Then we're going to have Halberds on the wings. In the center, we're going to have 2 Chosen with great weapons, so very heavy-hitting great weapon infantry. We got 3 Warhounds behind them, 3 Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. We're also going to see a unit of Chaos Chariots on the field, on the right flank only. And then we have Archaeon, the Ever-Chosen, on the right flank, leading this very infantry-heavy build into battle. So now Burning Head, Cascading Fire Cloak, Standard Die, and the Slayer of Kings. Now taking a look at the Greenskin army, we're going to have a very heavy skirmish force, with Mogham's Mangy Marauders being in the mix. 2 Forest Goblin Spider Riders for the poison, and make that 3 actually, and then so 3 Wolf Riders, 3 Forest Goblin Spider Riders in total. We're going to have a front line of 4 Goblins, backed up by 2 Black Orcs, and we do have the 8 Peak Loonies back here as well, the Unbreakable Night Goblins, ready to throw their loons into thick balls of Chaos Infantry, so we'll keep an eye out for them, because they will definitely get their value if they get a good loon off into the Chaos Chosen with great weapons. We're going to have some Orc Boar Chariots here, as well as Stone Trolls for that mass. Kicking it into slow-mo, we can see that River Troll Hag going to be here on the field with Spirit Leech, Mither, Goblin Big Boss with They Need Stabbing, and Grom the Paunch with the Lucky Banner. The Graydon is here, and Language of the Boys. So, got both of these armies ready to go. It does look like the Greenskins will have a skirmish advantage. Not really too surprising there. It's usually one of their strong points, that in their infantry. But Chaos going to be relying on this very heavy infantry force to defeat the Greenskins, and they will definitely win in just a head-to-head infantry engagement. So the skirmishing here is going to be very pivotal. Also, Archaeon going to be getting Spirit Leashed immediately by the River Troll Hag, and that's going to be painful. Archaeon, if he goes down, I think the Greenskins have this pretty much in the bag, because they have Grom to, you know, deal with a lot of this Chaos Infantry, and there'll be nothing really to deal with him unless Archaeon stays alive and in the fight. But so far, it doesn't look like Archaeon took too much damage from that initial Spirit Leech, resisting a lot of it. And Greenskin's just going to be poking away with their skirmishers. Chaos going to be keeping a good formation though, as you can see. Their lines not doing what I just drew there. They're actually staying nice and clean as far as their formations are, keeping a straight line of engagement, and the Greenskins are doing a good job of just pulling back, you know, pulling back, refusing engagements, picking out isolated units as they're doing right here with these Chaos Marauders. Grom the Paunch coming in for some action. These Goblins taking no damage in that engagement, and you know, Greenskin's picking up a little here, a little there. Chaos Marauders are starting to feel the pain, but you know, obviously that's good for Chaos, since those guys are meant to be soaking up all that missile fire with their shields. Orc Boys, Black Orcs, and Grom all coming over here under the Chaos Chariots. Chaos Chariots going to be retreating from there quite quickly. A Burning Head coming through though, and it's going to do some devastating damage. Look at that. 8 Peak Loonies and the Goblins just both getting burninated. Greenskin Archer is doing a good job staying back, continuing to fire. One Black Orc and another Goblin not even engaged yet. And the Stone Trolls also back here playing defense in the back line. They have the mobility advantage, and they're definitely taking advantage of it. Over here, we are going to be seeing Archaeon coming in, going right after Grom the Paunch. Grom the Paunch has popped the Lucky Banner for that 40% ward save. Archaeon has popped Slayer of Kings. He is going to town, but Grom the Paunch so far resisting most of that damage by the looks of it. And I think he should be able to slip on out of here in the near future. Right now, it looks like Archaeon, for a moment, was trying to run away. Here comes another Spirit Leech on top of him. Grom the Paunch still looking strong. Lucky Banner did just deactivate, though, so he has to be careful. Chosen with great weapons in there, chasing off the chariot. So now it is truly a one-on-one duel, but as I mentioned, Grom the Paunch, a slippery bastard, and he's just going to be able to pull away there as soon as you see things start to go south for him. Over here, Black Orc Stone Trolls continuing to stay out of combat. Really like the discipline here, keeping those guys just, you know, at a safe distance. Over here, the throwing axes, nice target prioritization. Looks like they're coming over here, hitting these Black Orcs with a ton of volleys, but going to be pulling through now, and it looks like they're coming over here to where the Greenskin front line is, and they're going to be supporting these Chosen with great weapons as they come into combat. Chosen with great weapons, obviously going to be just super important. Burning Head going down, but oh man, it kind of looked like it veered off target there, but gonna still go through some of the skirmish cav. They're not doing the most damage, but still getting that leadership debuff, so not a complete loss. Spirit Leech going down once again. Over here we have both Chosen with great weapons in combat. One of them is wavering. We do have Chaos Warriors with halberds in combat as well, but oh my goodness, a big hit. Archaeon finally connecting with Grom the Paunch, and Grom the Paunch definitely feeling that one. But looks like once again he is not going to stay in combat. They need stabbing, getting prop, and he is going to be pulling back into the rear and getting another charge bonus by the looks of it. Over here, throwing axes and Chaos Warhounds still in the fight. 2 of the Warhounds being a bit idle though. I would really like to see them all just come over here and kill those chariots. See the throwing axes focus all of their fire on top of Black Orcs at the moment, because they're, yeah, you know, that's absolutely what they need to do. And look at this, Grom the Paunch did take a lot of damage there. Archaeon is no chump in battle, and over here a beautiful Burning Head coming through. Look at that, the Stone Trolls beginning to waver. Black Orcs are wavering. Oh my goodness, could Chaos start to turn it around right here? It looks like it may be possible, as long as they can keep the chase up. Look at that, a very key engagement here going to Chaos in a serious way. Archaeon staying in combat here. Slayer of Kings has been popped. He has Mither on top of himself, but he is going after that River Troll Hag. She isn't the fastest to begin with, and looks like the throwing axes are going to pin in place. And actually, no, he's just whomping on the big boss at the moment. Oh, Slayer of Kings making his weapon strength, you know, 870. He is just an absolute monster right now, and the balance of power is starting to go back to even. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a ball game. Over here, Black Orcs trying to get back into the fight, but they are a bit isolated. Going to be seeing the throwing axes and the Chaos Chariots on top of them. And looks like the Greenskins trying to regroup, trying to get back into this. Archaeon coming back to regroup with his units. I agree with it, but it's a tough decision. You know, it's a tough call because it is allowing the Greenskin leadership to come back. And the River Troll Hag and Grom the Paunch both have regeneration, so really got to watch out for that. Over here, Archaeon, though, is coming back out of the pocket, coming to make his presence known, letting these Greenskin scum know that they can't come over here with impunity. Stone Trolls are nearby, though. Archaeon, I think, is in a sense that he's in some danger. He's going to turn around, and he's running away from the Stone Trolls now. He is actually slower than Grom the Paunch, so Grom the Paunch can catch him, but now it's a matter of who's getting too isolated here. Is it Archaeon or is it Grom the Paunch? Over here, stand or die as Spirit Leech. The big problem there is Archaeon did not get a charge off. He got rear charge and is now in committed combat with Grom the Punch, and he's losing. The lucky banner is popped, and that was a game losing play right there, perhaps, for our Chaos player here. Getting caught with a rear charge on top of Archaeon. Oh man, that's a painful play, but that's how it goes sometimes. Single grain of sand or rice, or however the saying goes, can tip the scale, and it looks like that was the grain of rice or sand, and that's going to be it. Archaeon now getting swamped with Wolf Riders and everything just to kind of, you know, interrupt his charge bonus, and Grom the Punch now coming in for the kill. And there he goes. Archaeon the Ever-Chosen has bitten the dust, and that's going to be a greenskin victory, giving a quick 1-0 lead to XMT Ice Power. Romulan Dog, it's me, the guy who doesn't work today. Okay. So, looking here at the post-battle screen, we see Archaeon being an absolute beast as usual. 2,400, almost 2,500 damage value on top of himself, 72 kills. We see a lot of the Chaos Infantry underperforming, in particular the Marauders. They did their job in terms of just soaking up a lot of missile fire, so the Chosen with great weapons could shine. But Halberds underperforming, which is definitely a disappointing thing to see. And I think the throwing axe is actually getting some good value. It looked to me though that they were on fire at will. Definitely want to see these guys. They have less ammunition, shorter range, but very good armor piercing. You definitely don't want to leave them on fire at will, because fire at will is just going to waste their valuable ammunition, which is most certainly needed to eliminate the Black Orcs. And then I would argue Grom the Punch would be the next biggest priority, but Orc Boar Chariots could be a big priority there too. Now, the Greenskin army, very well put together. Nice to see Grom here. The River Troll Hag being used to great effect. The Goblin Big Boss getting shut down pretty hard. Archaeon is a tough guy. He can be useful. He can really turn the tide. You know, getting that 3v1 engagement against Archaeon could help a lot. But, you know, as we saw, if Slayer of Kings happens to be active while he's in combat with the Goblin Big Boss, you know, 3 big hits could make the Big Boss, you know, go routing, or I guess 3 really good hits. No, probably wouldn't kill him, but still nearly kill him. And I did like the skirmish play here. He played very well with his archers, and he didn't commit to any big engagement with his key units like the Black Orcs until the very late game. So well played, textbook battle there from our player Ice Power. Now let's go ahead, throw up another blocker, and get to the next battle. So this one, it does look like we will have Hanadins. Okay, so that sounds like Tomb Kings. Royce de Tombes. And that's making me happy. I feel like I haven't seen the Tomb Kings a lot in the current meta. And then we have the Empire from Ice Power. Rogelio Alonso, good to see you, by the way. Sorry for missing that. Same to you, K7, King Thrawn, Quest Knight, all of you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, we got Archaeon the Black versus Marcus Wolfheart. He's used to hunting monsters and dinosaurs, but I guess he'll have to hunt a zombie this time around. Okay, no offense, Archaeon, I know you're not a zombie. Now, let's go ahead and get to the fight, shall we? Starting with our red player, we have the Empire. 2 great cannons in this army. Front line going to consist of what appears to be 2 swordsmen, make it 3, one of which will be the ROR. Then we're going to have 2 spearmen, 1 on either flank and a 3rd in the center rear. And then bringing up an extra 2 in the very far back with shields. They're going to be deployed right on top of the cannons. Now, for the cav support, and there is plenty, we have 4 Empire Knights. Love to see that. We're also going to be seeing what looks to be 3 Outriders, armor piercing, fast skirmish cav, getting the fire while moving. We do have a Bright Wizard with Fireball, Burning Head. And speaking of Fireball, boom, going right after Archaeon the Black, but Archaeon going to be dodging that quite with some deft maneuvers there. Over here, see Marcus Wolfheart pulling back, and he leading this army with nothing but Hunter's Snare. So, for the Tomb King army, we do see 4 Skeleton Horse Archers, excellent skirmish cav up front. We have some Carrion pushing in on the right flank with Nehekar Horsemen and a Skeleton Chariot. Going to have 1, 2, 3 Skeleton Spearmen, 1 Skeleton Warrior in the center, and then an extra 2 Spearmen, bringing it to a total of 5. Another Skeleton Chariot, 2 more Nehekar Horsemen on the left flank, and a 4th in the center. Tomb Scorpion with Archaeon the Black. Archaeon's going to be bringing Soul Blight and Spirit Legion. Other than that, the usual kit. Now, let's get into the battle here. Tomb King's opting for a very rush-focused build against the Empire right now, and they're taking a lot of damage on the approach. Empire looking pretty good so far. Tomb Scorpion in combat with the Sigmar Sons, which I really don't like. You want to see this terror-causing construct going left or right here to the non-unbreakable units. It's absolutely a waste to have it on top of unbreakable units, but now it does look like it's going into the rear. Perhaps going to get too isolated. We'll see Carrion coming in here now to tie down the Outriders. Looks like the Tomb Scorpion coming in to go right after Marcus Wolfheart, getting some good damage on that initial charge. Empire infantry is starting to waver, but there goes a fat Burning Head, destroying the Skeleton Warriors and the Nehekar Horsemen in one swoop. Empire Knights coming in and just finishing off the rest of them. A very nice play there from Ice Power Total War. Over here on the Empire right flank, the Tomb King left, you see the Skeleton Chariots getting a ton of damage, just decimating these Empire Spearmen and the cannons they are protecting. But Empire Knights coming in for a counter charge, getting in there unopposed, and just going to be getting a beautiful rear charge on top of all of those chariots. Now, Nehekar Horsemen desperately trying to fight off the Empire Knights. They will do okay in that fight, but the heavy armor of the Empire Knights, all the way at up 110, going to be really, really effective at preventing the majority of the damage from coming in from the Nehekar Horsemen. They have little to no armor-piercing damage to speak of. Over here, we do see that the Tomb Kings have taken the lead in the balance of power, though. Carrying over here, tying things down. We see a Soul Blight coming down on top of the Empire forces here. Tomb Scorpion in combat with a lot of Spearmen and the Hero Squad from the Empire. It is now trying to cycle charge all around, but it is still crumbling, does not seem to be stopping. And the Bright Wizard is even coming in on top of it. Once again, Archaeon the Black dodging the incoming fireball with ease. Here comes a Burning Head, and unfortunately his Skeleton Spearmen will not be able to say the same as him. They're not going to dodge that Burning Head. All that's going to be left is a bunch of crumbling bones. Balance power is dead even at the moment. We do see Marcus Wolfheart taking some damage. He gets a shot off into Archaeon there, but Archaeon coming in for a rear charge. Marcus Wolfheart not feeling too good. It looks like he may be about to rout here in the near future, getting another nice shot off. Outriders firing away at Archaeon too, but Archaeon getting some good hits there, showing that he's not a complete chump in melee combat. 245 is the HP for Marcus Wolfheart right now. The Bright Wizard thinking about going in for a charge to help out, maybe coming back around, and now the Outriders though getting a beautiful surround. And we see the Liber Mortis getting popped, giving that 40% physical resistance, but with a nice surround. Archaeon's in danger here, but Nehekar Horsemen coming in, smashing into the back of these Outriders. They are going to decimate them, no problem whatsoever. And Archaeon, even though he's taking some damage, is looking like he may come out on top in the combat against the Bright Wizard, but both of them disengaging at the same moment. Over here, Nehekar Horsemen breaking through the Outriders. Skeleton Spearmen screening out these Outriders with the Carrion. Very nicely played here by Hanadins. And Archaeon is keeping the pressure on top of the remaining Empire leader. And if the Tomb Kings can kill this Bright Wizard, they definitely have a chance to win this. Archaeon, I believe, still has some summons left. He still has some Nehekara Horsemen who are quite healthy, Skeleton Horse Archers who are quite healthy, and it looks like he's slowly but surely going to be able to come out on top in the mobility game as we approach the mid to late game of this battle. Over here, we do see the Tomb King summon coming down on top of the Empire Knights, very nicely timed. Empire Knights going to be routing, Burning Head going down, but it looks like it was a little bit off target. Skeleton Warriors against these Empire Spearmen here. Looks like they're going to be coming out on top slowly but surely. Liber Mortis popped once again, further buffing their leadership and giving that big physical resistance. And there it goes, a little victory for the Tomb Kings. And over here we see the Spearmen Nehekara Warriors routing and chasing a lot of Empire forces. So Tomb Kings in a position where they could bring this back. Empire Cannon over here going to be helping the balance of power a lot, as pretty much full ammunition, and they're just sitting over there. So if the Tomb Kings can eliminate that cannon, I do think it would bring a lot of the balance of power into their favor. Over here, Empire Knights getting a good charge against the Skeleton Horsemen Archers. They are going to be taking a lot of damage on the charge. I don't think the Empire Knights will be able to win in the long run, but for now they are doing quite a lot of work. Over here, Empire Knights coming in, and it looks like they may get a rear charge, and that is going to be a beautiful pickup for the forces of the Empire here. That is going to, wow, look at this. That side charge is going to do so much damage. The Bright Wizard coming in too, and that's going to be a significant loss for the Tomb Kings. Don't want to sound over dramatic or anything, but that is a big loss, and that definitely didn't need to happen. But that very tattered unit of Empire Knights, which is going to shatter here in the end, and possibly the other one as well, but they're going to be crumbling out. A very, very healthy unit of Skeleton Horse Archers, and right now that means the Tomb Kings have nothing but Archaeon the Black and the Nehekara Horsemen, and the balance of power is really starting to stack against them. One thing that they do have here is, oh no, did they already used the Realm of the Souls by the looks of it? Because I see it has 0 next to the little circle icon there. Over here, Empire Swordsman routing Nehekara Horsemen, going to fulfill the attacking rule by chasing these Outriders. Very smart move. The white line is right here. It's not going to take them long. They do have good ammunition, and look at that. They did stop routing, so the Nehekara Horsemen desperately need to get them off the map if possible. I like what we're seeing here. He stopped the attack order, just pushed him that way, and now he needs to push him this way. But oh, a beautiful juke, and the Outriders are going to get out of there safely. That was a very nice play. Outriders, seeing that he was blocking them, turning around and running back to safety as the Empire Spearmen come out and screen for that skirmish cav. Over here, Outriders going to use the rest of their ammunition. Archaeon the Black not going to dodge that fireball, taking some serious damage, and the balance of power is continuing to crawl towards the Empire. It's looking like it's about to kick in army losses. And a very good game to both of these players, but Ice Power looking like he's going to come out with a 2-0 victory here. Archaeon still fighting over here, routing off these Empire Knights, saying it ain't over yet. There it goes. Here comes a fireball, and it's a valiant defeat. Looks like Archaeon's not going to be able to hang in long enough to take the fireball to the face. He just sees it coming at him, just like, yeah, okay. I'll reanimate myself later. Alright, hey Rogelio, I'm new to multiplayer. I love looking at top players go at it like a judge backseat driver who would have a tough time winning a single match against them. Hey, don't we all? Question though, why isn't Archaeon chosen more often? Why isn't he chosen more often? I mean, I think people just really like Cetra on top of his War Sphinx or his Chariot. He's just he's a popular lord. He's a bit more tanky, a bit more aggressive, but I would honestly have to say Archaeon is no doubt number 2 most popular Tomb King Lord, and it's not like he's number 2 by a long shot. I would say it's probably closer to, like, you know, maybe 60% favor Setcher to 40% Archaeon. Archaeon definitely has his niche. And as far as sub-factions go, he might have the best sub-faction with the Followers and Nagash in terms of like what units are added to its roster. I think them and the Pirates of Saratosa and Averlorn are the three best sub-factions in the game, no doubt. So, yeah, Archaeon, he's still, I would say, used fairly. Like, Tomb Kings just aren't used a lot right now in tournaments for some reason. Their popularity seems to have waned a bit in the recent meta. But when I see them, Archaeon's definitely not a strange sight. Alrighty, let's see from here. Let's get the army blocker up, and we're going to go into the final because we don't have another semi-final for this tournament. So it's going to be Ice Power going into the final. And he's going to be bringing the Dark Elves. And then we will have Grombrindle. Let me update him. Update the score to 0-0 once again. And I hope he has Dwarfs. Oh my god, he does. Grombrindle has Dwarfs. So we're going to see Dwarfs versus Dark Elves. A difficult matchup for the Dwarfs, but seen a lot of innovative builds from the Dwarfs as of late, catching our opponents on their heels. So we'll see if Grombrindle can pull it off. Also, give me 1 second, but I messed up there. This should be XMT Ice Power. Okay, hold on. We're going to start it, and we're going to see which side of the battle these two fellas start on. Alright, Ice Power is on the left, so we will get that fixed right about now. Boom! Done. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Starting with our blue player, the Dark Elves, being led by Ice Power. His main faction, gonna have Bleak Swords up front. Looks like 4 of them. Black Orc Corsairs on the wings, total of 3. 2 on the Dark Elf left flank, 1 on the right. We're gonna have 2 Hargoneth Executioners, and then we're gonna have some Dark Shards with shields. Looks like 3 in total. Up in the air, Feral Manticore, almost a staple of most Dark Elf builds nowadays. And then down on the ground, we're going to have a bunch of Foot Lords, including a Sorceress of Dark Magic. Going to have Blade Wind and Chill Wind. Okay, it's not called Blade Wind. What is it called? No, it's called Blade Wind and Chill Wind. Okay, cool. Blade Wind and Chill Wind. Deceptively intuitive naming. We're going to be looking at a Death Hag as well, running around scantily clad as usual. And then we have Lokir Fellheart on foot, Foe Seeker, as well as the Helm of the Kraken, Dreaded Duelist, and Merciless Slaver. He sounds like a awkward party guest. Now, for the Dwarfs in red, who are beginning to fire away at the Dark Elves as they approach, we have Longbeards, along with Dwarf Warriors, Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, an extra unit of Dwarf Warriors, and then Longbeards again on the flank. Got 2 Slayers in the rear, along with Norgrimling's Ironbreakers. We're going to be looking at Rangers. Looks like 4, make it 5 of them. And then we have Ekron's Miners, a 3rd Longbeard. Here comes a Chill Wind doing some nice damage to Norgrimling's Ironbreakers. We got the Goblobber Grudge Thrower and Belagar Ironhammer. Don't see him a lot. He's coming in with just nothing on top of him besides his awesome armor and, of course, his weapon. Over here, we're going to be seeing these Dwarf Warriors getting decimated by Lokir Fellheart and the Death Hag. Argoneth Executioners coming in. They've taken some damage, no doubt about it. Ekron Miners coming in to try to give them some more damage to think about. Bleak Sword's going to be getting caught up momentarily there in combat. It looks like they're not being given the order to push through, but it won't matter as the Dwarfs' infantry is falling apart. Over here, Blade Wind going down. Going to do a touch of damage to some of these forces. We're going to see Black Orc Corsairs coming down in the rear, and the Feral Manticores pulling out. Very good micro here from Ice Power. He seems to be very comfortable in his element here with the Dark Elves, especially in a matchup, you know, that I think most would consider to their advantage. Over here, Black Orc Corsairs, as you can see on the flanks, these guys must have taken some damage in some other place, but because they definitely decimate Slayers. They have good armor, good speed, and that bonus versus infantry, so they are tailor-made to kill Slayers. Over here, Manticores both doing just fine. Chill Wind going through Norgrimling's Ironbreakers once again, and man, a very cost-effective cheap spell doing a lot of damage to these Ironbreakers, but one of the Manticores does look like it's close to going down. The Slayer's not going to be keeping it on the ground. They may regret that later, but the Ranger's going to be firing away, trying to keep them alive. Over here, Belegar, Ironhammer, still alive and well. Other Feral Manticore going to be running away from him now. We have the Dark Shards opening fire on top of the Slayers. Looks like that's the only Dark Shard. No, just kidding. All three Dark Shards are very high on health, very high on ammunition. So the Dwarfs need to figure out how to deal with them. They still have a good number of Rangers left, though, so that should be enough. Over here, Chillwind hitting the Ironbreakers once again, and man, they're just not having a good time here.
The battle is lost. Let others die.
Over here, the Rangers are opening up on top of the Sorceress of Dark Magic. At this point, I imagine she would be starting to get lower on magic, so I would probably focus on other Dark Elf units, but right now, Dark Elves are on their heels, but I think the big problem that the Dwarfs have at the moment is Belegar Ironhammer is way out here in no man's land, chasing Dark Shards, and the Dark Elves are going to be able to get him while he's isolated. Right now, they're shooting him to death. Belegar needs to run back to his army, and at the very least start running his army back to him. This is not where he needs to be. Does look like the Dark Elves only have the one Manticore left. Death Hag, Lokir Fellheart, and the Sorceress of Dark with the Manticore means they have quite a hit squad left. Chillwind's continuing to punish the Ironbreakers. They have such high leadership, though, you know, they're still sticking around here. You know, with all of their debuff leadership, they still have higher leadership than most units in the game. I don't want to say most units, but a lot of units in the game. Alright, Longbeard's going to be routing. Warriors of Dragonfire Pass coming in for a charge, but going to think twice before they can close the distance. Archers opening fire. Looks like they are going after the Death Hag. Belegar looks like he's returning safely back to his own lines. Dark Shards opening fire here on the Longbeards. Goblobbers, I'm surprised they haven't eliminated the Dark Shards by now. I feel like if they were targeting them, they would have been doing more damage by now. Over here, Ironbreakers continuing to get punished. Alright, these Longbeards have some decent health left. They're running away from Archaeon Executioners. Don't think they have the speed to do that, to be honest. Looks like... Alright, they're turning around now. If these Rangers can get a couple volleys into them, then I think they got it. Looks like the Longbeards might just be able to beat them outright. Yeah, there they go, routing now. Rangers eliminating the Death Hag. If they can eliminate that Death Hag, that's a good play. But right now, balance of power pretty far in favor for the Dark Elves. And I think that's because the Dark Shards. We still have those two Dark Shards. We have that Manticore. We have the Sorceress. And we have good old dreaded duelist himself, Lokir Fellheart here. He's just regenerating in combat. Belegar is coming over to fight him, though. And Lokir versus Belegar, that's going to be an interesting fight. Alright, we're going to be seeing Dreaded Duelist pop down on top of Lokir. 84-94 for his melee attack and defense, respectively, but 60-60 for Belegar. Iron Hammer means he's still not at a complete loss in that engagement. Manticore is coming in, though, and the 2v1 engagement is definitely not going to make Belegar feel good about things. Over here, we do have some Slayers coming in. Absolutely perfect unit to support Belegar, but it is going to make him think twice about staying in combat here with Lokir Fellheart. Arrows coming in. Looks like they were going for the Manticore for a bit there. I think they need to perhaps save their ammunition for when the Manticore is pinned in place somewhere, or honestly maybe just continue to focus on killing the Death Hag, get rid of that unit completely. Over here, Goblobber Grudge Thrower, it has used up the rest of its ammunition, and it looks like there's only one Ranger with any ammunition really left either. So Ekron's Miners coming back, throwing a volley off on top of some shattered units. That's painful to see. Definitely something you would like to see, say, for the late game, or at least just thrown at these Dark Shards, but they're going to start routing anyway. Rangers coming into combat. Belegar pulling back. Dark Shards opening fire. Looks like they're going to be hitting the Slayers here. Only 8 models on top of the Slayers and 271 HP. Not going to be the most effective here in the late game. One more unit of Slayers would be so wonderful right about now. I do like how the Dwarf player here sending his forces up in waves, not getting them all bunched in at all at once, just so, you know, if there's more magic, it's not going to punish a huge blob of Dwarf units, but then also, perhaps even more importantly, it won't allow huge mass terror routes when the Feral Manticore comes diving into combat inevitably. Ekron's Miners running out to the Dark Shards. They're taking some volleys to the face. I don't think they're going to be able to close the distance. Yep, they're going to start routing before they can get a lob of mines off. Over here, Belegar Iron Hammer going to be running away. Lokir Fellheart diving through, but he's actually kind of isolated. Belegar needs to turn around and hit him now. Oh yeah, no. All right. Lokir going to recognize that he's a bit isolated. There goes another Chill Wind. Beautiful placement on all of these Chill Winds. I absolutely adore seeing the Lore of Dark used here and not just seeing Soul Stealer. So very nice pick and nicely executed with the spell choice. And it looks like the Dwarfs are starting to fall apart from there. The Hero Squad still doing okay for the Dark Elves. Witch Hag, Death Hag obviously not looking very good, but Lokir Fellheart, who's super tough bastard, is still alive and well. And the Manticore still doing quite well. So we're going to go ahead and kick it into overtime here. There we go. And it looks like Army Losses should be kicking in here in just a moment. There goes the Terror route. And a GG well played. Ice Power once again taking a quick 1-0 lead in this best of 3. This is the final, so he's on match point. Yeah, absolutely, Ice Power. That's a very good point. Thank you for pointing it out. So 1,100, almost 1,200 on top of Lokir. 2,000 from Chillwind and Bladewind. So 2,000 value on top of that Sorceress of Dark Magic. 75 kills on Dwarf Infantry is not bad at all. They are super elite for the most part. And as you saw, she was hitting the Norgrimeline's Ironbreakers most of the time. So just pretty much making these units useless for the most part. Yeah, Dwarf units just struggling to find value. I do like the choice of Rangers. they're cheap at 525. They outrange anything the Dark Elves can bring. The stock is nice, so they can regroup on their peripheries and maybe are less likely to get chased off the map. The Grudge Thrower, I think, can really work. You got some good value, but maybe you had some problems with the prioritization of targets there. But Manticore is used masterfully. The Dark Shards also being used very, very well. 420, yay! Hargoneth Executioners do look like they got punished pretty hard there. Weren't able to get full value, but I think the Blackheart Corsairs, just being able to get around the wings there. I mean, it was clear the Dwarfs won the infantry engagement, you know, pretty convincingly, but it was just, yeah, the heroes here, Lokir Fellheart, the Chill Wind in particular, Manticores, and the Dark Shards. I mean, those were the win conditions. The infantry definitely had some killing power in it, but I think the Dwarf, you know, to the credit of Grombrindle here, were able to keep formation pretty tight and well together. They just, I don't know if they brought enough tools or really had what they needed in their toolkit to deal with this infantry squad and the Manticores. The Manticores would have had to be holding very still and being very compliant to be killed by 5 Rangers. If the Manticore is somehow like flash bombed, pinned in place by like some Slayers or something, then I could see some Rangers melting it. But when you're up against a player as good as Ice Power, it's going to be difficult without something to deal with these Manticores, and that's why I would say either bring something to slow down the Manticores or bring more Slayers, because you know what? Love Manticores? Slayers. They love Manticores. They have a really fun time hanging out with Manticores. Alright, let's throw up the blocker and see what happens in round 2 of this best of 3. Got the Empire for Ice Power. And we're going to be looking at the Beastman for Grombrindle. So definitely a matchup I think most people consider Beastman favored. Let's see if that rumor holds true. Oh, hell yeah. Ice Power. That's a very good point. I didn't realize that yeah, so it knocks models down so they don't use their range attacks, useful for avoiding blasting charges. Alright, let's kick it into slow motion and go in here. Hey Fardizzle, welcome to the stream, my friend. Starting with our red player, since it's round 2, we're going to see the Beastman running into action. Ungor Herd going to be in the front line along with Shores of Strakkwald, the Regiment of Renowned Spearmen. We got 1, 2, 3 extra Ungor Spearman Herd, bringing it to a total of 4. We're going to be looking at Blackhorn's Ravagers and 2 more Gore Herd with shields on the wings. Up in the air, it does look like we have 2 Manticores. We're going to be looking at Tusk Gore Chariots down here. We have some Centaurs with great weapons supporting them. We're going to be looking at regular Centaurs in the center, another unit of Centaurs with great weapons on the wings. Looks like they're trying to get a combination of terror, armor piercing, and just lots of chaff so they can tear down the Empire Knights on the wings. Brave Shaman of Death on foot, running through the center here with Spirit Leech, and Taurox the Brass Bull with Brass Body, and it looks like he's actually bringing a lot of his kit here. So we got Blood Beast, Rune Tortured Axes, Slaughterer's Call, and Blood Greed. And then we also do see the Brave Shaman of Wild with Traderkin. Now for the Empire forces, we're going to kick it into, oh my goodness gracious, I need to move that. Oh, actually, cool. Slow motion, Shem's Burning Gaze coming in from the Light Wizard on top of his Pegasus. That's all he's going to have in his kit. And we will see what kind of damage it does here as it comes at the Manticore. And it's going to do some really nice damage against that Manticore. So, Bright Wizard already getting some early value here. Then we're going to be seeing Volkmar the Grim with Grand Soulfire, Banishment, and the Jade Griffin as usual. We got the Spearmen and Swordsmen making up the front line. It looks like we have a total of 4 Halberds in the back, 5 Spearmen, and 2 Swordsmen up front. And then we have, and make that 5 Spearmen. Then we have War Wagons. Looks like 3 of them, along with an Amethyst Wizard, Spirit Leech on top of him. Volkmar the Grim, who I already mentioned, but I guess I have dementia. And then 2 Empire Knights. So that's going to round out the Empire forces, and Empire coming out strong. Alright, Traderkin coming down over here, hitting Empire Knights and Spearmen. Going to be seeing a banishment by the looks of it. And it is going to, wow, do some friendly fire for sure, but it just decimated all of those Centaurs with great weapons. And a lot of the Beastman infantry. That was pretty nasty stuff. Over here, Manticores coming in and getting pinned and rampaged by the War Wagons. And this is why I love War Wagons. You can just provide so much mass to pin things in place. Over here, Empire Knights coming in to hit the Manticores now. Volkmar coming back to get into the mix as well. Balance of power still in favor of the Beastmen, but the Empire do look like they're holding things together quite well so far. But Taurox the Brass Bull is now getting into the mix, getting a nice charge off on top of the Amethyst Wizard, and then a beautiful hit into all of the state troops, just knocking them way back. Over here, one Manticore, though, does look like it's going to go down for the count, pinned in place between the huge mass of the War Wagons and Volkmar the Grim, but looks like they're going to just allow it to pull through. It's very low on HP, so it doesn't seem to be their top priority at the moment. Over here, a lot of the state troops up here in combat, some more of them just standing back here in reserve. I absolutely love this. You see them just braced and ready, so as soon as the Sigmar Sons are eliminated, they can just, you know, be ready for the Beastmen to push into the second row of pointy sticks. Halberd's in here too. Taurox the Brass Bull with his crazy mass, though, is going to be pulling right through and coming into the back lines. He is going right after the Amethyst Wizard. The Halberd's coming in, not going to be able to stop him. And then a big old smack right on top of the Amethyst Wizard. Amethyst Wizard is routing, but will it be enough? Right now, the Empire do look like they're starting to make their way back into the balance of power. Light Wizard running away from the Feral Manticore right now, though, but while that Feral Manticore is way out there chasing it around, I think that's a pickup, a net win for the Empire, because it's not over here causing terror. And as long as they micro the Light Wizard, it will be just fine. Here comes a Grand Soulfire, going to decimate the Ungor Spearman herd. Taurox doing some nice damage on top of Volkmar, though. Centaurs with great weapons, chasing the War Wagons. However, state troops coming out, playing some defense. It was those same spearmen who made that second line. They're being repurposed over here to try and create an escape path for the War Wagons, and it looks like they're doing so successfully. Taurox Brass Bull taking a lot of damage from the War Wagons by the looks of it. Down below half health now. Volkmar the Grim, the slippery bastard, continuing to just pull through all of his little troops. The Amethyst Wizard, who was not killed completely by Taurox, getting some revenge there. You see that Spirit Leech going down on top of him. And the Empire is now officially in the lead, according to the balance of power. Tattered Manticore coming back into combat. War Wagons still very high in ammunition, just focusing on Taurox. Spirit Leech going down on top of the War Wagons. This time it's the Brace Shaman getting some damage in, but he is going to rout shortly thereafter as the state troops continue to stack up on him. The Empire state troops just here in great numbers, clogging up all of the Beastman forces wherever they go. Hey GS, welcome to the stream, and yes, War Wagons, ugh, they're awesome fardizzle. Alright, Halberds, everything coming over here to the Centaurs, charging into them. Alright, looks like another Spirit Leech coming down. I couldn't see who it was on, to be honest. Alright, Taurox the Brass Bull coming out, going to destroy one of the War Wagons with a nasty somersault.
Ulrich's teeth, retreat!
And that's going to be a Pyrrhic victory for the Empire. Very nice, close fight. But XMT Ice Power leading the Empire forces there very, very well. You're the Butcher of Birds, by the way. Hey, Butcher Bird. Good to see you, man. Coming in here incognito, I see. Grombrun. Volkmar the Grim doing some nasty damage there. Very, very well played to him. I like this Empire build a lot. Anything with War Wagons wins my heart. War Wagons doing very well for themselves. And yeah, just a ton of infantry seems to be popular for the Empire today. Taurox the Brass Bull doing well for himself. Centaur is having mixed results, I would say. Manticore is, I think, getting over-eager and then isolated. Can't underestimate the War Wagon's ability to kill off Manticores, even if it's just in melee. And but overall, like both of these builds quite a lot. And congratulations to Ice Power, though, for going 2-0-2-0 in the semifinal and the final here, winning the first tournament of HW League Season 9. So let's go ahead and get into some other battles. Throw up the army blocker. And I do believe we have both semifinals and the final for these next series. Yeah, very good showing for the Empire today, Alonso. Alright, so this will be Energized versus Future. That will never come. The player whose name I cannot fit into a title card. Alright, let's put it back to 0-0. Get everything updated. I'll just put Future. And then for his opponent, we had Energize. That's right. And it looks like we're going to have Hombres Bestios and Reyes Funerarios. So Beastman and Tomb Kings. See if we got it in the right order. Nope, it's the other way around. So we will get that fixed. Right now, red player, Energized, is going to be the Tomb Kings. All right, and here we go, kicking it into slow-mo. We got the Tomb Kings in yellow being led by Energized. Now, we're going to be seeing Skeleton Horse Archers, looks like 2 of them, 2 Nehekar Horsemen up front as well. Going to have 3 units of Tomb Guard for the front line, 2 Skeleton Warriors on the wings, 4 Skeleton Spearmen protecting the back line. We had another Nehekar Horseman over here in the center, looking like they're going to be protecting a single Ushapti with great bows. Absolutely love these guys. Tombs 15, thank you for the subscription, man. I really appreciate that. Your subscription money goes straight to the prize pools for the tournament, so do appreciate your support. Now for the Tomb King leadership, we do see Setri the Imperishable and a Tomb Prince, both on top of horses with their anti-large halberds. Going to be seeing the Wrath of Tra, as well as the Blessed Blade of Tra, Usep's Incantation of Desiccation for that huge debuff. We're also going to have Nuru's Incantation of Protection, Unyielding Will, and the Restless Dead. Now for the Beastmen, we're also going to be seeing a lot of infantry. For them, we're going to have Ungor Herd making up the front line. Looks like 4 regular ones. Then we're going to have Gore Herd along with two Ungor Spearman herd. We're going to have a total of 4 Razor Gore herd. We have the Grog Hooves of Wolf's Run, regiment renowned throwing axes. And then we have a Bray Shaman of Beast with the Manticore summon and Wissen's Wild Form, along with Taurox the Brass Bull with his usual kit, a Gore Bull, and 2 Tusk Gore Chariots. So a lot of anti-infantry power in this army. Now, other than that, we got nothing. So let's get to the battle in full speed, and here it goes. Tusk Gore Chariots coming in for the charge. Setcher the Imperishable sticking in there long enough just to do the Wrath of Tra. And now he's running up here, trying not to get caught by all of these chariots, but oh no, look at this. Gorebull and Taurox are in a position where Setcher could be very isolated. I don't know if they've just not seen it yet or what's happening, but Setcher's back here all by himself. Alright, Tomb Prince is actually going in on top of the Gorebull over here. Looks like we're going to be seeing a Manticore summon coming in. Setcher the Imperishable still pinned in place. Tomb King Archer is doing a lot of damage though. Over here, Setcher pushing in. We have Gorebull getting taken on by the Tomb Prince. Right now, Taurox just not feeling the best. Usep's Incantation of Desiccation coming down on all of the Beastmen in this AoE, and their melee stats are just crap. And Setcher the Imperishable and the Tomb Prince are dominating. Taurox the Brass Bull over here. Terror is kicking in, and my oh my, Taurox the Brass Bull just not having a good time at the moment. What is causing the terror on top of him? Is it this? Yeah, Tomb Strike. Ouch. Taurox the Brass Bull regaining his wits for a moment, probably feeling ashamed, hoping nobody saw that. But Setcher and the Tomb Prince are not giving up on top of the Gorebull. Taurox is a bit slower, so he's having a hard time keeping up with them. And they're just not letting the Gorebull come back by the looks of it. Now they're going to turn their attention back to Taurox, the Brass Bull. And this is dangerous. The Tomb Kings, there's Razor Gore herd coming in here, and they don't seem to notice it. And oh no, now Taurox is in a position where if he turns around, maybe he can get some good damage in. But the Razor Gore herd are going to be getting shot in the back right now. Tomb Prince coming in for a rear charge. Over here, Neru's Incantation of Protection going down. And it looks like the Ushapti summon is coming in right here for the Tomb Kings. Ooh, Wrath of Tra going in there, blowing up some of the Beastman forces. The Tomb Prince does look like he's going to go down for the count, but now that we have the Ushapti summon in here to support, Setcher's looking like he should be safe in the long run, and the balance of power is looking like it's pretty significantly in favor of the Tomb Kings at the moment. Around the field, you can see that they're winning a lot of engagements, or at least just stalling the Beastmen, while their leadership kill squad over here is taking the battle away. Over here, Tomb Prince still crumbling. He is going to crumble out of existence now. That is a pretty big loss for the Tomb Kings. They no longer have that 2-on-1 advantage against Taurox, which means Taurox is going to be a much more deadly factor to consider in the late game. Ushapti the Great Bows trying to eliminate the Tusk Gore Chariots. I'd love to see him eliminate Taurox the Brass Bull. Looks like they're focusing on Grog Hooves of Wolf's Run over here. Neru's Incantation of Protection going down. Taurox the Brass Bull. That's a close victory. GG, well played. Energizing a quick 1-0 lead. Yeah, 2 Manticore summons is the max. So yeah, I mean, looking at the Tomb Guard, not the most damage value, but getting a lot of kills, cleaning up a lot of chaff. Tomb Prince doing well, Setcher doing well, Ushapti doing well, although I stand by wanting to see them help kill off Taurox. So once you kill Taurox, it gets pretty much game over. He's so expensive, and the Beastman leadership just don't hold up well without him. But yeah, I mean, very well played to the Tomb Kings. Good to see them on display today, and it's also, you know, not to be biased, good to see the Beastmen losing some battles today to the Empire, to the Tomb Kings, so hopefully people can see they are mortal. Now we are going to have Hombres Lagarto And Elfos Oscuro, is that Dark Elves and Lizardmen? No. 1 second, we'll figure it out once we start it up, but I'm pretty sure that's Dark Elves versus Lizardmen for some reason. Yes, I will, Shramek. Definitely going to convert to Warhammer 3. So this is Season 9 of the HW League. Season 10 will be on Warhammer 3. So the 10th season of our league will be in Warhammer 3 officially. Boom, got it. But I got it backwards. Close, but no cigar, HW. All right, here we go. Removing the army blocker and getting to the fight. I'm going to start with the Dark Elves here. Scourge Runner Chariot's going to be out front. We have Harpies up in the air, 2 Manticores as well. Front line is going to be Dread Spears, Bleak Swords alternating. And then we have some Cold One Dread Knights here in the back lines too. Heavily armored Velociraptor Cavalry. Now, for the leadership, it does look like we have Malekith on top of a Cold One as well. He's going to have Gaze of Malice. Where the hell did he go? Does he have no spells? Oh no, just kidding. He does have Soul Stealer, Standard Ground, and Gaze of Malice. Now, for the Lizardmen forces, we're going to be seeing Chameleon Skinks. Looks like 3 of them up front coming out to do the counter skirmishing. Going to be looking at Red Crested Skinks. Have 3 of them, including the ROR cohort of Sotek, 3 Saurus Warriors, or Saurus Spears with shields, and then 2 Skink cohort with Javelins, 2 Cold One Riders, and make that 4 Cold One Riders. Other than this, we have Oxyotl and a Skink Priest of Heavens with Windblast and Harmonic Convergence. Interesting spell choice. Saurus Spears and the Red Crested Skinks getting the charges off against the Dark Elf Infantry unopposed. Means they're going to win big. Over here, the Bleak Swords did get a counter charge, but they just really don't stand a chance against Saurus Warriors. Spears or Warriors, not going to go well for them. Over here, Cold Ones Knights coming out to charge into the Scourge Runners Chariots. Soul Stealer coming down on top of the Greens, or the Lizardmen Infantry, and Cav over here. Harmonic Convergence on top of the Cold One Riders there was keeping them in combat a bit longer, and it looks like these Cold One Riders are committing to the engagement to try to hold this flank just a little bit longer. And, you know, since the Soul Stealer was just used, they should be able to buy some valuable time for the Lizardmen forces, who seem to be doing okay here in the long run. Oxyotl still safely in the rear, and the Lizardmen are winning very big on the right flank engagements. They just successfully defeated all 3 units on that right flank. Over here, the question is going to be, can the Lizardmen capitalize on this win and get these infantry over into useful positions so they can continue to kite effectively. Right now, the last Cold One Knight looks like being committed into combat here, once again just to buy more time, but this time we are going to be seeing more Saurus Spears committed into this engagement too. Got to watch out for those big Soul Stealers, but we are seeing the other Saurus Spears coming over in this direction, so nice to see the Lizardmen, you know, keeping a good front line while they have all these skirmishers back here firing in from a safe distance. Lizardmen are definitely starting to take the lead here in the balance of power. Soul Stealer coming down on top of 2 Spears and a Cold One Rider, doing some nice damage. Harmonic Convergence on top of the Cold One Riders once again seems to be this tactic employed by the Lizardmen here to keep them in combat for as long as possible. Cohort of Sotek, I think this being a mistake. They are way out here in no man's land and need to turn around, need to get back into combat. These guys are unbreakable elite infantry. They are an absolute boon to the leadership of allies nearby, but at the end it looks like it may not matter. Saurus Warriors with Spears still holding firm. These two are going to be terror routing now, but the healthy Saurus Spear in reserve now being pushed into combat. It looks like our Dark Elf player getting a bit too bunched up, having a little bit of a difficult time splitting up, eliminating different targets from the Dark Elf forces, and now just kind of get bogged down continuously with just, you know, periodic units of lizardmen being sent in to tie everything down while these chameleon skinks continue to just fire in and murder the Dark Elves. Don't forget Oxyotl is doing the same thing. Malekith's like, I see you, Oxy. Run away. It's kind of cute. Alright, Malekith getting on top of Oxyotl. Skink cohort with javelins running over here to try and protect him. Oxyotl taking a lot of damage there. And now we have these Cold One Dread Knights rushing through. Alright, the cohort of Sotek have come back to support the Lizardmen. Right in the nick of time by the looks of it. This armor piercing is desperately needed. Oh, Oxyotl decimating the Scourge Runner chariots. Alright, cohort of Sotek have refused to die popped on top of them, so their models cannot die. And it's perfectly timed since they're on top of the Manticore here. Manticore can't kill any of their models while that's active. And it looks like it's close to routing. It looks like it's trying to get out of here now. Should be able to, but they do have poison attacks, so it does slow down that Manticore ever so slightly. And we'll see what happens. Over here, Skink Priest going to get a charge off on top of it, and now it is routing. Now it looks like it's going to go down for the count as chameleon skinks are nearby to throw or blow some darts at it. Over here, Logical EU giving me a follow like a boss. Thank you so much, my friend. Sora Spears coming into combat, getting into the back of the Cold One Dread Knights, who are now rampaging, and it looks like this is going to be the end for the Dark Elves. They may be able to kill Oxyotl, but even if they pull that off, I'm not sure it's going to be enough. However, I've seen crazier things, so maybe I should keep my mouth shut. Over here, though, we are seeing the remaining Knights for the Dark Elves getting routed off. Malekith now in here solo. Oxyotl going to be able to pull out and retreat from him as the cohort of Sotek gets into combat, surrounds him, and Malekith's leadership is really starting to suffer now, as all of these amphibious creatures begin smashing him to pieces. Harpy's coming in on top of Oxyotl. Feral Manticore, low on leadership, but is also coming back. There goes the Shatter, though. Army loss is going to be kicking in soon. I'm not sure where Future is from.
I'm done here.
GG, well played. I'm doing well, Logical. Thanks for asking. How have you been? Wild Hippopotamus, I'm super happy for you that your brother-in-law's mom told me she thinks I'm very handsome at Thanksgiving. So you do have that going for you. I mean, is she hot? Over here, Oxyotl, 1300 value. Sorry, that was rude. But it'd really get at your brother if you started dating his mother-in-law. Oh no. Your brother-in-law's mom. Oh yeah, that'd be really weird, dude. Your sister might have feelings about that. Over here, cohort of Sotek doing well for him. We have chameleon skinks doing God's work, Sotek's work. Hopefully she doesn't watch my stream, Hippopotamus. Alright, future that will never come. Let's see here. He did pretty well. The Dread Knights were just on a rampage. Malekith doing very well for himself. Cold One Knights doing well. Dread Knights not doing as well as the Cold One Knights, it looks like. But, yeah, good series. Energized, getting that 2-0 victory. We'll be heading up to the final. But now we have to go watch another semifinal, which is going to be our second to last best of 3 of the day, so get hyped. And here we have it. It's going to be Nameless versus Crabbling. So let's go ahead and throw Crabbling up. I believe we're going to have him in blue, but hopefully I'm not wrong. Oh, by the way, Shramik, thank you so much for gifting the sub to Tombs. That's super kind of you. I think I just called out Tombs for the follow, but thank you so much for gifting that to him. That's really cool, man. Let's get to this now. It's good. I think it's a good build. Energize is also just a very good Lizardman player, so definitely worth keeping in mind. Now, let's go and watch this replay. Remove that army blocker, and it looks like we have Crabbling with Norska versus Nameless Order and the Lizardmen. So, let's update the faction banners real quick. Norska versus the Lizardmen. God bless, I haven't seen Norska in a hot minute, so looking forward to seeing him here. Yeah, Crabbling is a very good Norska player. Crabbling's just a good everything player. Let's kick it into slow-mo. We're going to cover the Norskins first as the Pterodons come flying in. We're going to have Marauder Berserkers. Chaos Marauders, looks like 4 of them. 4 Marauder Hunter Javelins. Got 2 Norskin Ice Trolls. Got some Norskin Ice Wolves on the left flank. And on the right flank for the Norskins, we have the Beast of Tashnar. Going to be seeing a Shaman Sorcerer of Death. Going to have Spirit Leech, Purple Sun, and Soul Blight. And then we're also going to be looking at Wulfric the Wanderer. And was that Soul Blight, or did I get it wrong? I think that actually might be Doom and Darkness. Yeah, Doom and Darkness. We're also going to be looking at Wulfric the Wanderer on top of his Mammoth. He's got Sea Fang, Fight or Die, Hunter of Champions, and he's ready to rock and roll. Now, for the Lizardmen, Spirit Leech going down on top of these Pterodon Riders. We got 2 of them up in the air to poke and prod at the Norskins. Going to have 2 Skink Cohort with Javelins. Make it 3. Then we're going to have Saurus Spears with Shields. Looks like we're going to have 3 of them, and then 3 Saurus Warriors for the center line. 1 of them will have shields too. Got a Bastillodon with a Solar Engine. We got a Feral Carnosaur. And then we've got Lord Mazdamundi, Ruination of Cities, Banishment, Shield of the Old Ones, Apotheosis, and the Net of a Mintok. Got a regular unit of Salamander Hunting Pack to belch up some fireballs. And it looks like that will round out the Lizardman forces. So let's go ahead and get to it. And good luck, have fun to both of these players. Yeah, getting knocked out by Crabbling, Butcherbird, no shame in that. He is one of the greats. Alright, Javelin's coming in. If they get a volley off on top of the Salamander Hunting Pack, that would be very painful. Salamander Hunting Pack actually belching up a volley into them, interestingly enough. Would definitely stick with Wulfric as much as possible. Mazdamundi going to be pulling back too, and the Norskins, yeah, pushing in very aggressively. They have to close that distance, get those Javelins to killing if they want to get any true value done. Right here, Net of a Mintot going down on top of the center of Norskin lines. However, the Salamander Hunting Pack not nearby, so not sure how I feel about that. Nation of Cities doing a ton of work, though, and the Solar Engine going to miss Wulfric the Wanderer. Stop drinking on the job, Bastillodon. Over here, we have the the Salamander Hunting Pack focusing on the infantry again. This point, too, there are trolls nearby, so they will get a lot of damage against trolls, and they do have that bonus versus large with their missile string, so I think it's important for them to be focusing on those engagements. And over here, now they are going right into the Marauder Berserkers, Sora Spears pushing forward to grab the Norscan Ice Wolves. The Salamander hunting pack are taking some damage from that engagement. Over here, Sea Fang coming through. Going to do some nice damage to the Skink cohort with javelins, but not really hitting anything else. Over here, the Lizardmen doing a very good job in these engagements, winning against the Norscan Ice Trolls and the Berserkers and Marauders quite convincingly. Over here on the left flank, things are a lot more tight, but the Lizardmen do look like they may be coming out still. Over here, Feral Carnosaur coming into combat, clawing at the Mammoth. We also have the Sora Spears supporting it, so the Feral Carnosaur is in its element. Scroll of Shielding coming down here, giving it that 20% ward save, but Net of a Mintok now on top of Wolfric, and he's getting fireballed by the Salamander hunting pack, and I think that's going to be it. Honestly, yeah. Very cool army and good plays from Crabbling, but the Lizardmen going to be coming out on top. Oh, Solar Engine hitting those Ice Trolls right before they got in combat, debuffing their attack and defense to 14 and 8 with the blinded trait. That was very nicely timed. So I'm going to get this into overtime. It doesn't look like this is going to change. Monster Moody's full health, Solar Engine's full health, Salamander, yeah. Going to be a close defeat. Good fight from Crabbling, but Nameless Order coming out on top and taking a quick 1-0 lead. Wolfric getting shut down pretty hard there. No getting around it. And yeah, Norska, a lot of players just say it's in the dumps. The latest faction poll confirmed that most players seem to be of the same mind that Norska is just in a really bad place in the current meta. But very nicely played by Nameless Order. I like this Lizardman build a lot, and he played it very, very well. A few early net there I didn't really agree with, but aside from that, I think overall very well played. Alright, Chaos versus Dark Elves. Hell yes. We've had some excellent faction selection today, chat. Been spoiled. Alright, and here we are. Starting with our Dark Elf player, we got 3 Repeater Crossbows, 3 Scourge Runner Chariots. Also going to be looking at a K-Knight Assassin with them. Web of Shadows Assassin's Trophy going to be active. Up in the air, 2 Manticores, Marathi on top of her Pegasus. She's got Soul Stealer and Doombolt, as well as the Wand of Caridon and Enchanting Beauty. Now, for the Dark Elf main force, if you can call it that, we have Dark Riders with Shields, Slaanesha's Harvesters, and that's going to be it. Very, very skirmish-heavy Dark Elf build. And over here, for the Forces of Chaos, you have Marauder Horsemasters, very capable skirmishers of their own. Got 2 of them, 1 Horseman, and then it looks like over here, you're going to have 2 Horsemasters and 1 Horseman, so 4 and 2, respectively. Got Marathi pushing deeper into the Chaos lines, but now the Chaos skirmishers are pushing out. Warhounds with Poison, going to have 2 of them up front, and then we're going to have 4 Forsaken, and 2 Chaos Marauders with great weapons, which is absolutely hysterical. Over here, we do look at a Hell Cannon that's firing away right now. Doombolt coming down on top of it. It's going to do a lot of damage as it lands directly on top of the Hell Cannon. And there goes a Soul Stealer, too. Going to hit 2 units, the Hell Cannon and 1 of the Horsemen. So Chaos probably breathing a bit of a sigh of relief there. That didn't hit any of the Horse Masters. And now Marathi's taking some serious damage. He's going to be chased up the mountain, so to speak. She can fly up and over it, but the Chaos Skirmishers will be unable to follow. But holy hell, what an arm! As they throw javelins literally over mountains. Over here, we have Chaos Warhounds with poison pushing out after the repeater crossbows. Oh, they have a speed advantage, and it looks like they may just catch them. But, oh, Dark Riders coming in with a beautiful counter charge from out of the camera, out of frame. They just come charging in and decimating those Warhounds with poison. Over here, oh my god, one of the Feral Manticores, though, shattered, and we missed it. My apologies, chat. Hell Cannon continuing to fire away, the Scourger and her chariots taking some damage. Right now, Sartorial the Everwatcher, speaking of taking damage, is down to 1400 HP. He does have that 50% missile resistance, which is why I'm sure he's maybe been taking all of those shots for the team. But still, that's a lot of damage to take in less than 3 minutes for the battle. But to his benefit, Morathi is also taking a lot of damage. She has a way to heal it up, but you can see her healing cap is already, fast approaching. Hell Cannon's still alive, taking a lot of damage from the Doom Bolt, but Morathi has not negated any of its combat effectiveness. It's weak, but it's still firing at full potential. That was Uncle Rico tossing those spears almost. Or not toss them spears on the mountains. Forsaken pushing forward. That's going to prove difficult for this Dark Elf army because Forsaken are fast infantry. Going to help, with the chase of all of this cav. Looks like the second Manticore is stuck on the ground now. The Forsaken's armor should help against Manticores too, up at 85. And the Feral Manticore is going to get pinned in place by the Forsaken and then made into a pincushion by all of the Marauder Horsemasters. Over here, another Doom Bolt coming in on top of the Marauders with great weapons this time. Interesting choice. And the Dark Elves are slowly but surely just getting corralled and pushed into the back. Second Manticore now dealt with. I don't think this Manticore is going to be, even if it comes back, it's not going to be combat effective. And it's highly likely it will not come back. So here it goes, edge of the map, moment of truth, and the Manticore is gone. So, balance of power firmly in favor of Chaos now. Morathi throwing off another Soul Stealer, but they're starting to feel desperate, only catching 2 units with that Soul Stealer. Word of Pain on top of Sartorial. Standard Die getting popped as a counter, but I guess not really a counter since it's debuffing his melee attack and he's buffing his melee defense. Terror kicking in on the Slaanesha's Harvesters. Balance of power really getting out of hand. Forsaken, Marauders with great weapons on top of the K-Knight Assassin, and now Morathi has dived into combat too. She just used the Soul Stealer not too long ago. Web of Shadows has been cast, but it does look like the Assassin's about to go down for the count, and Chaos here. The very clean victory over the Dark Elves. Dark Elves being a very micro-intensive army, very small, fast army, and it just didn't pay off as the Chaos forces did have plenty of speed of their own, but then they also had 4 Forsaken and a couple of chaff units. So, yeah, very, very well played to our 2 players here, but Crabbling coming back swinging. So that's the second semifinal, and it's tied up. It's tournament number 2 to keep everybody straight. So Crabbling, Sartorial, not getting some good damage, but it seems like he was mostly there just to draw fire. His Horse Masters and Horsemen really being the killing power there. Hell Cannon not getting the most value, but didn't matter in the end. Morathi getting pretty much the same value as Sartorial. Some nice cav play, especially that beautiful counter charge with the Dark Riders into the Warhounds where they just decimated them. Scourger and Chariots getting some good damage. I imagine all of that's from Sartorial for the most part, from them shooting him down. Manticore's got shut down pretty hard though. So, very good game to Crabbling. And we're going to our first tiebreaker of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully not our last. So let's get to it for... Alright, watching that replay. Alright, Beastman versus Vampire Counts. So, We've got the Beast versus the Counts. Yeah, exactly. Hell Cannon Valley was driving Marathi to near suicide. Very good point. Susenka. Over here, let's start back with our Beastman player, since we are in the tiebreaker. Centaurs are throwing axes, 2 on either flank. We will have 4 units of Ungor Spearmen hurt with shields, as well as with Taurox Man Rippers, our Regiment of Renown Halberd Bestigor herd. We've got a Bray Shaman of Wild with Traderkin, Bray Scream, and Traderkin. We have the Eye of Morslieb, Regiment of Renown Cygor, and then we have a regular Cygor. Are you fucking kidding me? This is sick. Over here we have Morgor the Shadow Gave with his 2 Chaos Spawn summons, and that's going to be it. Now, going over to the Vampire Counts, we have 2 Vargulfs, one of which is taking some serious damage here from the throwing axes, no doubt about it. We're going to have a front line of zombies with 5 of them in total. We've got the Sternsman Graveguard, Skeleton Spearmen, and we're going to have 3 units of Crypt Horrors. We have a single Blood Knight, and then we have a Necromancer back here on a Corpse Cart. He's at Raised Dead and the Forbidden Rod. We have the Dire Pack Wolves, ROR, and we have a Banshee on the field of battle. Now, other than that, I'm just looking for the Lord. Aha! Helman Gorst over here. Helman Gorst on top of his his Corpse Cart. He's going to be bringing the Liber Noctis, Gaze of Nagash, Invocation Nahek, Curse of Undeath, Master of the Dead, Reliquary of Corruption, Unholy Lodestone, and Vigor Mortis. So that's going to round it out. Cygor's throwing away, hitting the Vargulfs, but doing some damage. Interesting plays here. We have all of the Crypt Horrors hiding in the trees. I'm not really sure what the Crypt Horrors are for, to be honest. Beastmen not known for their big armor. I think Centaurs on the charge can do very well against Crypt Horrors. Over here, Sternsbane Graveguard now becoming the target of the Cygors. Some serious damage coming in here. There they go. Throwing into the Crypt Horrors, trying to kill models. Alright, Centaurs throwing axes, diving in for the cycle charges against all the zombie chaff. Doing some good damage. Over here, Vargulf's coming out to play some defense, try to screen him out. Oh, a boulder to the face, and that Crypt Horror is going down. Throwing axes doing some nice damage here. Crabbling playing it very clean. Throwing axes now hitting Crypt Horrors. Over here, throwing axes, looking like they got some good damage in on the Dire Pack Wolf. Sorry I missed that. Just been so enthralled with the boulders flying into the zombies. One of the Crypt Horrors looks like it's already crumbling. Ungor Spearman herd beginning to be pushed up from the forest, and the Centaurs are going to be retreating behind their infantry. Spearmen coming out for the charges. Looks like they're able to get unopposed charges because I think the Crypt Horrors had charge orders against the Centaurs. Over here, Taurox Man Rippers diving into combat. Throwing axes, throwing over their heads. And man, Traderkin upgraded going down here too. Doing a lot of damage. And Beastman looking strong here in a matchup that, you know, historically is favored to the Vampire Counts. But right now, this double Cygor build, which, you know, I haven't seen in a long time. It was pretty big meta in the first game, but not so much in game 2. So it's kind of refreshing to see it. It's been a while. Over here, Blood Knight's getting decimated by Cygor rocks, while 2 throwing axes are just going to kite them to eternity and continue to hit them with those armor-piercing rounds. Other 2 throwing axes are coming into the mix, including the ones who have poison damage. And Blood Knight's going to be in a world of hurt here. Warp Gaze going down on top of him from the Eye of Morsleb. I love that. Netting him in place for 9 seconds. And This Cygor's still gonna miss. Dude, come on, man. You really need 2 eyes. Your depth perception is so off. It's crazy. It's crazy. Invocation to Heck going down, but I don't think it's gonna be enough to save these Blood Knights. They are still crumbling. Oh, a boulder right to the back of them. And there they go. The Blood Knights have been killed by the Beastman, and I think that was the last hope the Beastman really had, unless they get the craziest terror routes of all time. But right now it doesn't seem like it's going to be happening, because the Beastmen just have so much in terms of a numerical advantage. 556 to 392, and keep in mind that number 392 for the vampires at this point is a couple of tattered 34 Sternsmen, and the rest of them are going to be zombies. Looks like some skeleton spearmen, maybe. Ooh, boulders still going in. Eye of Morsleb, very accurate because of the 9 chevrons. His companion, not so much. Throwing Axe is coming in for another charge. Another nice thing with the Eye of Morsleb is it does have magical attacks, so it can deal with Banshee in the late game if needed, because Beastmen do struggle with the magic damage. Morgor, Shadowgave coming in, getting at Helm and Gorst. Centigor's coming in to support him. And it looks like that's going to be a GG and a 2-1 victory to Crabbling. So congrats to him. He's heading to the final for tournament number 2 of Season 9 in the HW League. Nameless Order, big shout out for being the first player to bring it to a tiebreaker in today's stream. That Vargulf was pretty dramatic when it died. Alright, we have here Morgor doing well for himself. Taurox Man-Rippers doing very well for themselves. Throwing axes, I think, being used pretty much as best as you can use them. The Cygor is also getting a lot of good value there. Really the killing power with the throwing axes. So it's just like these things, and then everything else there was to buy time. Taurox Man-Rippers did have a good time based on the composition of the matchup, though. They really didn't have any infantry to oppose them. None of the Novice infantry could kill the Taurox Man-Rippers, I don't think. The Sturms and Graveguard would give them the biggest run for their money, but I think these guys would still come out on top. They have a good charge bonus, good weapon strength, and armor piercing. Banshee not doing too much work, not getting the terror routes. I think it was there to get Vargulfs getting hard countered by the Centigors with the throwing axes. So, yeah, just very well played. The Blood Knights getting no value. Just beautiful gaze of Morsileb coming down from this. And, yeah, just overall, really like that Beastman build. Well played to Nameless Order, and congrats. Let's go watch Crabbling in the final against Energized. Alright, looks like we have Crabbling, and Energized should be in red, I think. At least I hope so. Get that score back to 0-0. As a reminder, this is now the best of 3 final in the second tournament of Season 9. So this will be our final best of 3 today. And I want to thank you all proactively for tuning in and hope you've had a good time. Alright, looks like we have Chaos in Vampire counts. But I got it backwards. So once we load in, I'll pause it, flip everything around, and then we will get into it. Necrarch Vampire Lord versus... oh, which Chaos Sorcerer Lord is this? Alrighty, let's go back here. Blue faction. Vampires. Red faction. Chaos. Aristodemos, did anybody watch the World Chess Championship game one today? I did not, but thank you so much for the subscription, you beautiful bastard. That's 1 year of subscriptions, 12 months total. So thank you, Aristodemos. You are my boy. Thank you for supporting the stream. Now, I just confused myself, but I believe Crabbling is chaos. So we will update this. Red faction, or red player. All right, let's see how this goes. Going to kick it into slow motion because it does look like this is going to be an aggressive battle. So we got our vampire player in yellow, aka blue, according to the scoreboard. We have 4 zombies. We have 3 graveguard with great weapons, 1 regular graveguard, 2 skeleton spearmen. Looks like we have black knights. We have a Terrorgeist, we have Fell Bats, we have an Necrarch Vampire Lord on top of a Zombie Dragon. This bad boy is going to be bringing Dark Protection, along with Arcane Conduit, Raised Dead, Invocation from the Heck, and Spirit Leech. We do have a Mortis Engine as well, and that looks like it's going to round out the Vampire Count army. Now for the Forces of Chaos, coming out very mobile, we're going to have Marauder Horsemasters and Marauder Horsemen. Looks like 4 Horsemasters and 2 Horsemen. We then have 2 Exalted Heroes on top of Manticores. Both of them will be bringing, the Mark of Khorne, as well as Hellfire Sword. And then we have a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire on top of a Zombie Dragon, a Chaos Dragon. So it has fire damage just inherently, along with the 2 Exalted Heroes because of that Mark of Khorne. Going to be exciting to see them go up against the Terrorgeist, who has a weakness against damage. Sword of Anti-Heroes, Arcane Conduit, Burning Head, Flaming Sword of Ruin, Cascading Fire Cloak, and Fireball, all going to be on top of that Chaos Sorcerer Lord. Meanwhile, on the back line, we're going to see Aspiring Champions. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 Aspiring Champions just sitting in the back line, waiting for the Chaos Skirmishers and Air Force to try and win the battle for them. Let's go ahead and get to it. Ooh, nice dodge by the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. Over here, all of the fire damage units are going after the Terrorgeist. The Breath there going to miss, almost do some friendly fire, and the Terrorgeist taking some serious damage here. Alright, Necrarch Vampire Lord going into combat. Dark Protection on top of him, but he is still getting melted. And if the Vampires lose this Lord, then I'd say it's a GG. It looks like the Chaos Sorcerer Lord is going after him. Oh, no, just kidding. They're going to go back to triple teaming the Terrorgeist. Phrasing, my apologies. Alright. Chaos Skirmishers so far doing okay. They're pulling out. Some of them in combat with Skeleton Spearmen. Looks like they just got mismicroed a little bit there. Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire is taking some serious damage. Here comes a Breath, maybe? Oh, no. I thought he was gearing up for one. Alright, Terrorgeist getting into a very dangerous position. We have Skirmishers coming down over here. I'm going to connect a bit with the Breath, but I don't know how decisive that will be. Looks like some friendly fire from the Javelins, actually. But now Terrorgeist is crumbling. Over here, Necrarch Vampire Lord getting healed. Exalted Hero is on his ass, though. Fireball coming in, hitting the Mortis Engine. And it looks like the Terrorgeist may be going down for the count here. Terrorgeist chasing these other skirmishers now. Not sure that's the best decision. Out of the pot and into the fire, as they say. And now it does look like the Necrarch Vampire Lord is going to go down for the count. His Zombie Dragon and him both biting the dirt. Over here, another Fireball coming down. See the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire. It's taking a lot of damage, but overall should be healthy. And we now see Exalted Hero combination going down against the Mortis Engine. Terrorgeist getting killed by Javelins. Here comes a Breath attack. Gonna still connect a bit on top of the Sorcerer Lord, but Terrorgeist is gonna die from there. Over there, a Breath going down. Not gonna get a full connection, but Mortis Engine is dead to rights nonetheless, and that's gonna be a GG. Well played. This Chaos Army winning big. And you still got your Exalted Heroes over here. So, hey, you need me to come over yet? Just playing on my phone. Very clean game to Chaos. Very well played. The Kark Vampire Lord got some good damage. Same with the Terrorgeist, but it just, yeah, they were at a very big disadvantage there. And that's something you have to be careful of as the Vampire counts. It's like, Chaos can take the Air Force against you and just bring a ton of ground skirmishers, and then you're at a huge disadvantage in the air. Unless you've gone very heavy, so you can see here, like, all of the Chaos Flyers getting pretty much double the value of the Vampire Flyers there. The Horse Masters and everybody just performing exactly what they needed to do, and then you have all these just high leadership magic damage units hiding out in the back, ready to come out when they're needed, but otherwise just spread out, because the Vampire counts don't do a good job spreading out and eliminating units, and all of those units are super high leadership, so they'd have to commit some decent resources to eliminate them one by one. So let's throw up another blocker and get up to our next battles here. Okay. Now we have Crabbling with the Beastman. And it looks like he's going to be taking on the Warriors of Chaos from Energized. Very even matchup in my opinion. Seen this go both ways a lot, but hope you guys are ready. Tend to see an Archaeon versus Taurox duel in this fight, so let's get to it. And indeed, we will. Taurox the Brass Bull going up against Archaeon the Everchosen. Taurox does have a Gore Bull with him and a Bray Shaman of Wild. Archaeon's just bringing him his sexy ass self. Let's go ahead and throw it into slow-mo really quick. We're going to have the Beastmen here in red, Warhounds with poison, 2 throwing axes. Going to have a front line consisting of Ungor Herd and 3 Gore Herd. We're also going to be seeing a similar combination of Centaurs and Warhounds on the right flank, including the Regiment of Renown, Groghoofs of Wolf's Run. Now, for the remainder of this Beastman army, we have the Hero Squad that we mentioned earlier, and the Bray Shaman will be on a Tusk Chariot with Traderkin, Bray Scream, and Devolve. Now, for the... I think I got that right. That's Devolve, yes. That's Devolve, yes. All right, for the Forces of Chaos, Marauder Horse Masters. Looks like we have 4 of them. We're going to have 2 Chaos Marauders. We have the Mirror Guard Chaos Warriors, 2 Chaos Spawn, and 2 Chaos Warriors with Halberds. Archaeon is on top of his Horse Dorgar, coming in with the Slayer of Kings, Stand or Die, Foe Seeker, Burning Head, Cascading Fireball, or Fire Cloak, and Fireball. Over here, Devolve coming down. It's not going to do any damage, but it does slow these units down a bit. I just don't... It feels like it was a bit premature. Fireball coming down on top of the Bray Shaman of Wild. Archaeon just sitting up on top of the hill, waiting for the Beastman to come to him. He's going to be pulling back now behind his infantry. And it looks like Chaos, you know, obviously going to be relying on their infantry superiority here to try to take this to victory. Alright, counter charge going off at the last minute there. Nicely done. And I forgot to say, these are 2 Chaos Warriors, so it's not 4 Chaos Marauders. It's 2 Chaos Marauders. We got some Chaos Warriors in there too, besides the Mirror Guard. All right, Mirrorguard pushing through. Archaeon, I think, maybe sensing an opportunity to come after the Bray Shaman here. Burning Head coming through, and oh my goodness. Very nicely placed. Very nicely dodged, though, by the second unit of Goreherd, who did maneuver out of the way. Over here, we got Traderkin coming down on top of the Marauder Horsemasters. We now have Centaurs with throwing axes coming into the backline trying to chase them, but Marauder Horsemasters are no chumps. Over here, Archaeon was coming in for a charge, but Gorble kind of blocked him. Gaze of Malice going through the Marauder Horsemasters. Over here, Foe Seeker, Standard Die, Cascading Firecloak, the Slayer of Kings. Archaeon has 108 melee defense and 952 weapon strength, but he's still taking some serious damage here from the Beastman hit squad, but he's dishing out some good damage too. Over here, we do have Marauders coming in to the engagement, and if these Halberds can come over here, I think the combat can still go very much in favor of Archaeon, but for the moment, he is actually getting trounced and needs to get the hell out of here, and it looks like he got the memo. Going to be turning around and hightailing it out. Oh, my apologies if everything's desynced or anything, but hopefully when you guys watch the replays or something, it's okay. If not, let me know in the comments. Now, checking out the wider battlefield here, you can see the skirmish cav have kind of like all been pushed off to their own side or having their own engagements here. The infantry engagements are going to the Beastmen, or sorry, going to the Forces of Chaos for sure. Archaeon needing to run away. Oh, a very narrow dodge from the Gorble. Here comes another Traderkin hitting a lot of the Chaos infantry. But as you can see, Chaos Infantry going to come out on top. It's a matter of time. And Archaeon, although he's taking a lot of damage, is not dead. And Gorble and Taurox need that to happen. Otherwise, I think Archaeon's going to be able to drag him down with the Halberds. Does look like the Beastmen have gained the upper hand as far as skirmishing and mobility goes. Don't see any other skirmishers for Chaos on the field besides this one remaining Horsemaster. Balance of power very much against Chaos at the moment. Archaeon coming over, finding the Bray Shaman unsupported. Looks like he may be able to get a charge off, but uh-oh, Taurox and Buddy are coming in. And now Archaeon's turning around and running away. Oh, he's going to be able to get away by the looks of it. He is faster than Gorble and Taurox. Balance of power looking like it may be getting to an insurmountable place now. Fireball going in, doing some decent damage against the Bray Shaman, but I just think it's too little too late here. And we may be seeing Crabbling push his way to a 2-0 victory here unless something really crazy happens here. So Archaeon's just not looking pretty. All three Beastman heroes are alive. And now the Forces of Chaos don't have that infantry advantage anymore. So I think this is going to be a GG in just a moment here. Chaos Spawn going to be providing that anchor for the leadership since they're unbreakable, but Taurox and Gorble are over here now. Gaze of Malice going through the Halberds. Looks like they're going to start successfully routing the Beastman infantry for a moment, but there's plenty more coming in from this other side. Burning Head going through to clear out some of the Beastman chaff. But yeah, it looks like Archaeon's about to be all by himself. And we have a GG and Crabbling winning the second tournament of Season 9 in the HW League. Here it goes, Cascading Firecloak, but a valiant defeat before Archaeon can commit to combat. Hey, Hippopotamus, my dude, HW, what's up? There, better now. Kolek, yeah, I could see him being good in this matchup, but I think Archaeon is a very good choice as well. Lower Fire is useful.
He has really good defensive capabilities, one of the few lords who can go toe-to-toe with Taurox. And I also just think Kolek... Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Kolek performs as well against Taurox. But I'm more of a sartorial Archaeon boy. But other than Archaeon, it just seems like Sigvald is so popular now too. Hey, Hipposcotamus, thank you so much for the subscription, man. I'm glad you find it to be a cinematic experience. That's 7 months of subscriptions to our friend there, Hipposcotamus. That's for half a year, so thank you so much for the support, my friend. A huge congratulations to Crabbling. A big shout out to Energized. And yeah, besides Crabbling, who won tournament number 2, another big shout out to XMT Ice Power, who won tournament number 1 in today's stream. So big thank you to everyone for tuning in. Hope you've had a good time. I know I sure have. I will keep you posted on streams this weekend. And until next time, take care of yourself, be kind to one another, and I will see you on the battlefield. Later, guys.